Yeah.
All right, so we are working with Socian Technologies, and for this semester, we are focusing on maps. So it's Garrett, Joe, Faye, Kelly, Rohan, Logan, Ashika. And a special thanks to Mark. He's around, he's gonna get here. And then also the professor and T-Phase. Okay.
Okay, what is Socian? Socian Technologies is an autonomous AI drone company that identifies and records first responder encounters by combining deep learning technology and advanced computer vision with their state-of-the-art drones. The key difference between the current police drones and the Socian drones is usage. While currently police use drones for finding missing personnel and searching dangerous terrain, Socian drones can be used for any type of incident. So our project goal is to create a mapping interface that will effectively and efficiently help visualize the information being documented by the drones. The stakeholders for this project will primarily be 911 operators. However, their interaction with the interface will influence police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and even criminals. We want to state that there are no previous prototypes or dashboards to work off of, so all of our designs are informed by our research, interviews, testing, and sponsor meetings.
We conducted secondary research to gain more insight into our problem space. We looked into dispatcher terminology to understand the language and software that dispatchers use. We also researched dispatchers to understand their current setup and process. Also, we looked more into drones and more specifically Socian drones to understand the mechanics and capabilities of them. Finally, we conducted a competitive analysis to understand current drone interfaces. We then went to the West Lafayette Police Department to have a tour of the dispatcher room. We were able to see their setup and conduct an interview of the dispatchers and the current lead of the drone department. Their setup consists of many computer screens, all with different information. The dispatchers use computer-aided dispatch or CAD, and it consists of a call screen, report incident screen, and a map screen. We are focusing on the mapping screen to create a version that will be specifically used for drone mapping. These screens are also customizable, which they greatly value, so everyone's setup is a little bit different. During our interview, we learned that the system is outdated, but it works well for its intended purpose. The map that they currently use has more information than what they need, and there are large panels that take up too much space but are not used often. Also, dispatchers often have more information than the police unit, so they relay the information over call and chat. Finally, they want to have drones to fill in gaps and provide a less escalatory approach to incidents.
So these are some designs showing all the concepts that we initially worked on. We started by analyzing different mapping software. We tried sketching our own version of them. We tried making map designs that are scannable as possible because their current desktop is quite confusing and not that user-friendly. Initially, we started by making concepts that revolved around 3D version of the maps. We also tried adding a feature where dispatcher can highlight the building they wish to be surveilled by the drone. In this design, the dispatcher has power to control the drone and change its path. We also tried to visualize how different sensors might look. Lastly, we added no-fly zones that are not currently available for the drone maps.
This is our idea graveyard, which contains old designs that for various reasons we scrapped. So we first thought about incorporating the drone's camera view into our design, but we ultimately decided to separate maps and cameras, making just a map interface to go with last semester's camera interface. We also thought about incorporating a 3D map, but after talking to dispatchers, we concluded this would not be practical and would be needlessly complicated. One difficulty we came across was if we should allow police to control the drone in its flight plans. While there are reasons for giving control, such as the ability for police to fix AI mistakes and using the drone to help complete helpful tasks, we concluded after talking to our sponsor that this would lead to a potential abuse of power and human error. Because of these reasons, we removed police or dispatcher control, as well as controllable flight plans, adding them to our idea graveyard.
All right, so the dispatcher concept testing. When designing maps for the police dispatchers, we had to keep in mind that their computer setup was already complicated with multiple screens. After meeting with Jason Timmons, who is a dispatch supervisor at the West Lafayette Police Station, we identified some features that the dispatchers like Jason would appreciate. In addition to not wanting to feel overloaded, the dispatchers want to be able to change the drone visibility to not escalate some situations, incorporate more police codes since full addresses aren't as needed, fix issues of rarely used layers, and have the ability to add nuance to AI's knowledge of the situation and enjoy features like color-coded units on the map to see what police on duty are doing. And this is our user story of how operator Jason Timmons would respond to a hit and run.
So here is the map interface. And I'd like you to just keep in mind that this would be one screen. Then they would have a screen where they would have calls being made. Then they would have a screen where they're reporting incidents. So they have many screens going on, and we're just focused on the map. And so we have a very clean map visual where it's not too much information, but it shows the buildings, the roads. It shows the drone nests. So the drone nests are situated around the city where the drones charge, and they can respond to things around the city as quickly as possible. We have a police unit marked in yellow. And so the different colorings of the vehicle say the status of the vehicle. And also we have a status log that does the minute by minute actions of drones and units. And so this is pretty graphic, but this is the incident. Stay off your phone, kids. Okay. So a call is made. So then it shows the icon for the caller, where the caller was made, or the call was made, and then it shows the incident. So it's a red hexagon, and it shows the code, which is very important, and then the address, but not the full address, because we learned in testing they don't want to see every bit of information because they know the area well. And then it also shows the deploying drone nest with the glowing blue. And then we have the drones are deployed. Okay, so then we have a toolbar that you can bring up from the bottom, and it has the different active units such as police, fire, and medical. You can see all three, or you can see one or zero, and also stealth mode. So the changing of the stealth mode doesn't change what the drone will see, what the drone will go out and seek to do, but it will change how it approaches a situation. So if it's low visibility, that means that it will be less visible to the potential suspect, while high visibility, it'll be very visible in the sky, and this would potentially deter further crime. We also have the layers in the toolbar, which would be much more hidden than it is normally, where it's always present on the left screen, even though they very, very infrequently use it.
Okay, so now that the drone is en route to the incident, Jason can now see the drone ETA and the path the drone is taking to the incident right here. Jason also has the ability to hover over police units in the area and know who is in the unit, and also who has the ability. He also has the ability to call or chat with the officers. We found that most dispatchers communicate with officers this way, so implementing this easy access to communication was important. Once the drone has made it to the incident area, it's going to survey the area in a circular pattern and mark points of interest along the way. To know, Jason can also look at the drone status to know things like speed, altitude, and the current location. The police units also have unit status, is also collapsible because we wanted to save as much screen space as possible. Now I'm going to talk more about the points of interest, which are these red camera angles. So Jason has the ability to close the search ongoing, which is the big radius, and he has the ability to close that so he can have better view of these camera points of interest. So these points of interest are images or videos captured from the drone that fit the description of the suspect that was generated by the AI. It allows Jason to see a recent image of the suspect and a short description that he can quickly send to officers reporting to the incident.
Okay, and then this is something that an after the fact tool that we're still working on. We're not sure of how it might be implemented, but it would show that all the incidents prior to whatever is happening now. So you could see, oh, what happened on the 12th of April, and then it could show the incidents like in the marked in red, and then very detailed description, as you can see on the right. And then also, you could see camera views from recorded from the drone at the time of the incident. Also, if there were multiple calls made to the same incident, which is common for big incidents, then they would be all connected like the three with the three dots. And then we also had a satellite view and dark mode. And so we moved away from 3D map because we realized that didn't really do anything for the dispatcher. But satellite view is often used by dispatcher to see like the little complexities, maybe in the person's backyard, to see, oh, there's a shed there. We should keep that in mind. Maybe the person is hiding in a shed, or to see any little detail on the road or the vegetation or anything like that. Also, the dark mode might be useful because dispatcher rooms are usually don't have any windows. They're very dark. And so for eye strain, they might appreciate a dark mode.
So now we're going to talk about the AI chat and report feature. So we wanted to find a flexible and iterative way to for dispatchers to communicate with the drones and even update information. So this idea first started with AI advice, where the AI would provide recommendations on how to report to an incident, either by recommending the number of units or the type of units right here. And then, so we all know how popular ChatGPT is. So we were looking into a way that AI could be a chat bot for dispatchers in order to provide the drone with instructions or recommendations. So we ran into a problem because of issues like how much effort, time, and thought would go into implementing something like this. So we shifted more to an AI report where it shows a short description that the dispatcher could easily interact with. And then I'm going to pass along to Garrett to show where we are now.
Okay, so with the chat, it might give a very small version of the notes, and then also have the ability to make a change or add nuance. Now, adding nuance is very important for notes because that often leads to error on the part of police officers. And so, and chatting with the drone would make sense because drones operate based on an AI algorithm. So similar as ChatGPT, you're communicating with an AI. And so you'd be communicating with a drone, which is run on an AI. But some difficulties we have with this is that the Notes app would already exist on the side, which you can see this image, this white image with all these boxes. That's the current day Notes app. All right, and then so we would basically be having two notes, which is requiring much more work on the part of the dispatcher, and they're not. Why would they make changes to this separate Notes app? And there's a whole bunch of issues with that.
All right, so to summarize, 4 major changes have taken place since we've gotten more feedback and iterated our ideas. These include a drone pin icon that includes all the information about a drone, as well as where the drone nest is located, an improved sidebar that is customizable with tools and options for dispatchers, a camera icon that shows the capture from the drone's view that has extra suspect information, and improved visualization options for the map. It cuts down on the extensive list that the operators already have. And some next steps that we can would consist of iterating on our designs, further conceptualizing the AI chat, looking into post-incident reports or forensics, like which details are the most important for dispatchers to have when looking back in the past, and documentation. Thank you.
Thanks.